Root shadowing hair extensions does not have to be scary. I'm going to show you how to do it from platinum hair. Let's go. So first things first, we're going to start with Marilyn from Christian Michael Hair Extensions. We are going to start by washing this sucker, okay? And as you can see, it's a little bit warm. Here's the thing. We're going to use purple shampoo and we're not going to be scared of it, okay? We are not going to be scared of it, but also what we're not going to do is we're not going to let it sit for, 5 hours, okay? We're going to be nice and easy with it and get that purple evenly distributed. The thing about purple shampoo, you guys, is it's awesome, but I love to use a lot of it because if you don't saturate well, you'll get spotty purple pieces. We don't want that. So we want to make sure that we're distributing it super evenly, not roughing it up too much. The thing about Christian Michael Hair Extensions that I do love is that it does not get ratty or messy, and see right there, it cut the yellow perfectly. Now we have our extensions completely rolled out perfectly. I'm going to use 8N in Redken Shades EQ. I'm going to tap in the top. When I rolled this out, you guys, I did use a brush and made sure that everything was super detangled and like just perfect. I'm also using a flicking motion. Now, when I say flicking motion, that means I'm not just dragging it all the way down. I am flicking my brush up and I go in with a dry brush afterwards. This is really important to note. Seriously, when I say this, that dry brush, that sucker freaking works. Now I'm going to go in for some low lights. Now here is the kicker. Do not drag it all the way through. If you're looking for a rooty balayage look, I'm going to use that same 8N and nothing else, just straight up 8N. And I'm going to feather it down and leave the ends blonde. This is super important because if you are not dragging that dark color all the way through your client's natural hair, it is not going to look right. And in reality, all balayage, any sort of lived-in look, has depth right at the root and really bright ends. So we want to make sure that we're mimicking the exact same look and keeping everything really clean. When I do this, I do use foils because I don't want any bleeding, any spotting, all the things. The thing about Redken Shades is that it has a tendency to get spotty if you don't saturate well. So you want to make sure that you're saturating really well. And please, 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 please do not go in with any root shadow color without washing the hair extensions first. We want to break down any sort of chemicals that are on the hair first. And if you don't do this, you will notice a very large difference in your custom coloring. So again, you guys, I go in with my dry brush and I make sure that I feather it down just a little bit. It really helps to blend, and as you can see here, I'm using that dry brush. So I let this sit. Now I'm going to go in for my tape-ins because we're going to do tape-ins in the front. Again, wash these, and I do one at a time. I do not sandwich them together. I make sure that I'm using that same exact flicking motion while also incorporating my dry brush, which is so helpful. I'm also not going to use any foils. I'm not going to use any sort of weaving here because I want to make sure that I keep her front really bright. I'm utilizing these only in the front. And if you sandwich them together, they're going to get blotchy. They're going to get kind of nasty. So we want to make sure that we're saturating really, really well, both front and back with our tape-ins and not doubling these up at all. Now we're going to go into our rinsing. So we pull the foils out pretty quickly. You want to make sure that when you're pulling the foils out, especially even though I'm using a level 8, okay, we want to pull them out pretty quickly, or you can rinse at the same time. I just don't prefer to rinse at the same time because I don't want the extensions to get matty or wrapped in with the foils at all. So I keep everything at natural fall. I start rinsing it out and just really getting that color out. The thing I love about shades is that it's so opaque that it comes out really, really natural. I'm going to show you guys the end result in just a second, but I want to show you what it looks like wet. A lot of times this can look a little bit scary. If you see any pink or purple, make sure you go back in and I'm so sorry, you're going to have to redo it. I will do a video on that. I know a lot of people are struggling with that right now, and I will do a whole video on that soon to come for you guys. But here is the end result when it is wet. And I will show you also what it looks like dry coming up here. And that looks beautiful. And here it is installed. You guys comment your thoughts. Let me know if you like this or if this helped.